because how we're going to have to organise in London is going to be probably a little bit more complicated, I think, than it has been in Leeds, because of the size of the area, the geography, the links, the number of different individual councils we're going to have to work with, and the number of people who live here. And also, I guess as well, the diversity of our population. Our working class people are more mixed in next to middle class people, I guess, more than in Leeds, I think. So Unite has been, to follow straight off from the question of resources, we are producing tons of materials and we want to get them out as far and as wide as possible. So please just contact us for anything you want, basically. At the moment, we've just done this bedroom tax one, which has flown out the door. You know, everybody loves it, so I've run out. I've got some here today, but I've got to put another order in. And that's got quite a lot of detail in it as well. Here's our stickers. We've got stuff on next week. We've got very, very simple informational stuff coming out on universal credit, bedroom tax, benefit cap, DLA to PIP, and council tax benefit. So here's another question that I don't know whether you will all want to answer. How many people here claim council tax benefit? Okay. How many people here are going to be affected by the bedroom tax? How many people here will eventually be moved, are claiming some kind of unemployment benefit, so will be moved on to universal credit sometime soon? Okay, well that gives us all, pretty much, a personal basis with which to talk to people. And I think our approach at Unite is going to be very much encouraging a more personal approach rather than a top-down, heavy-going political approach, and a very, as close as possible, a neighbourhood, street-level approach, which is going to be quite hard to do. I think the only way that we can really win this campaign, I think we can win this campaign, but I think a very, very important part of us winning this campaign is to really engage with the people who are going to be affected, who are not going to be at this meeting, and who may even not naturally want to go to a public meeting. So it means interacting with people as close as you possibly can with them. We've got people in Lambeth today walking up and around Brixton Market and outside the Tube, talking to people about the bedroom tax with red hats on, flags, and asking them whether they're going to be affected by it. As of next week, they've identified a few estates. We've got the materials that we can deliver to people to help them do this. We've developed a petition. We've got a model motion for councils as well. And in Lambeth, they're organising people. They've picked a few estates and they've picked a few days, and they're literally going and knocking on people's doors and saying, do you claim any of these benefits? And if you do, here's the leaflet, this is what's happening. You know, can we get your contact details? The other thing that we've done, I think, and this is about the fear, and I think the huge disempowerment and marginalisation that, say, particularly the bedroom tax, not so much council tax benefit, is just going to be hitting really the most vulnerable people. And the people who are going to be hit by it worst are the most vulnerable people who don't know how to get that extra 10 a week. Because a lot of people are going to have the sense that rather than lose their home, they're going to go and shoplift a tenner's worth of food. Or they're going to go and find that extra 10 or 15 quid a week. I know that I would, rather than risk being evicted with my children. I would keep my home and I would find the money somehow. However, a lot of people won't be able to do any of those things to protect themselves, and they're going to be the first ones to be evicted. And they're going to be the last ones, most likely, to get access to advice and information. So what we have managed to do at Unite, and I think we've got this in Islington and Camden, we've got it in Lambeth, we've got it in Lewisham, we've got it in Brent. We've trained up and they've just started working benefit support people. So that in any of those areas, I think there's another couple of areas as well, And they've had a couple of days worth of training from Shelter. They're now in a network with each other. Some of them have different experience of different types of stuff. Some of them are really knowledgeable about ESA and disability benefits, for instance. And as these people go out, they're going to be letting people know that they can come to us for support with this as well. And hopefully that will mean that people who wouldn't usually engage in something like this will feel a tiny bit safer about getting engaged and know that the people who they are working with can support them as well as just calling them out for action. So, I mean, as I said, we've got a model motion for councils. I think that the Labour Party may well come round if it thinks that it has a huge mass. I mean, you can see how it's moved already just in the last week to opposing measures that it didn't oppose when the Welfare Reform Act went through Parliament. You know, now all of a sudden it's vocally opposing them. I think they may shift at a local level if there is a huge, massive, very grassroots swell up against it. And I was just going to talk about working with councils. And I think we've got a lawyer here called Liz Davis today who's doing a different session. We're going to be working with her at Unite as well, and we're going to be getting as much legal information on this as possible. Now, the costs of collecting council tax benefit are going to be higher than benefit. The cost of collecting council tax, that little whatever it is, 10, 25%, whatever it is, are going to be higher than the actual money that they are going to recoup. Yeah. So there will be ways, if we work very cleverly on sort of legal grounds and also accounting grounds, that we can start making arguments. They're just impossible to argue against. So that is what I think we're going to try and do at Unite as well, and make the argument so overwhelming that any Labour councillor just could not possibly argue against it. So we've managed to find possibly 2 Labour councillors who are willing to put forward our motion. We're still working with them. We're also going
which councils? In which councils?
Lambeth and Lewisham. And we are working with Tom Watson as well to go through the Labour Party a bit more top down to see what we can do there. Probably missed out loads of stuff. We've got basically what I'd like to do is link up, and we're all working together on a local level as much as possible. So it'd be good somehow to work out where local level activity is going on. I mean, as I only work in London and the South East. So we're community members in local areas and basically match people up and be working together and just make ourselves, more of us doing more work basically on a local level. And I think that's all. But yeah. Okay.
Thank you. What I think is very time consuming but very necessary is to go out and get the tenants involved. Like when the question was asked, how many people here are affected by the bedroom tax? I think 2 people put their hands up. I would have loved there to have been 500 people here who are tenants who are affected. They will come, I'm sure they will. When 2 ladies on the estate can go on Facebook and organise things to happen. Because in 3 weeks' time, or in a week's time, they'll get the letters. In 3 weeks' time, it's going to affect people that they're going to have a choice. Where do I find 20 quid a week? It's impossible. And therefore they have choices to make. And I fear that some of those could be absolutely tremendous high-rise buildings. We have heard people in Leeds who have jumped off the 14th floor because of debt. Now, if they have the confidence, because you've been out there onto the estates or wherever you can find these people, with the information, in any way you can, and make them feel that they're not alone, then they have a choice. And we've got to give them that choice, because if we don't give them the choice, we have failed. They will then make our lives, I think, tremendously better, because it's bloody great when you suddenly find you've got 300 people marching behind you. The 6 months it's taken to get here, and we've done it. And I think that's potentially what we can do. Because you don't need to tell people on benefit about poverty and debt. You can live with it. You know, those are the people who go to Wongland. Anyone who, you go to whatever, you don't need to, they know all about it. You've got to give them the strength to get together with each other to make sure that they can stand up to this. And as people have said, we can win. I'm sure we can.
Yeah, a few different things. Just say anybody who wanted any of our stuff, or this will be along later, but my contact details are on the back of that, and also those regional organisers. So I know you've been working with our guy in the northeast, haven't you? So yeah, so all of our contact details are on there.
Is that National Unite publicity?
That is, yes, that's national, and it lists all of our coordinators who are the main people who are getting this material out. And we are just appointing somebody in the southeast. But before then, just give me a call and I'll send you loads of stuff. I think the legal stuff is going to be really, really, really important. I mean, there is still, even after the legal aid cuts, there is still legal aid available for people, but only when eviction is imminent. So, you know, in those cases, they won't need Mackenzie's friends. They're all on a low enough income to qualify for legal aid, but they've just got to know that it's there and have found a solicitor. There are quite a few things I was going to come back on. Just again, I do think the neighbourhood level. I mean, I think if you had two people who actually live in the same street who are affected by the bedroom tax, I think you could then mobilise the rest of the street to come out and support them. I think it's much harder if you live 3 miles away and you go knocking on the door. But I think if it's neighbours, knowing they're actual neighbours and they're two neighbours in the same position, then I think you've got the whole estate coming out and supporting those people. So it's kids out of schools, you know, and, you know, as well, I guess we should be working around schools as well, because teachers are really going to, you know, not like this at all. The stuff about the legal stuff, we're going to have evictions for private sector tenants starting in April, from the looks of it. In fact, the bedroom tax stuff, I mean, I don't know, and this is where we need to get the legal advice from. Bedroom tax stuff probably won't, somebody has told me, start happening until October, which means we've got quite a long time to build because of the rate at which people are going to have their arrears accumulating and the way that local authorities approach evictions. But yeah, I think the legal stuff is going to be crucial for us to really know and for us to tell people when we're going out and interacting with them on the streets. So we are doing a workshop at Unite and we're going to carry on doing that.
That's my question as well.
Yes. Sorry.
And when's the workshop?
The workshop, but it is only for Unite members, I'm afraid, in limited spaces, and I think it's the 25th, of this month. And we're hoping to do more as well.
So there are sign-up fees?
If you're a Unite community member, you would have got an email, yeah. So we are just starting up a group in Haringey. We are meeting on Thursday of this week.
What
We
time?
don't have it's in Woodbury head office at 5:30.
5, is it?
Yeah. So come along to that if you want to. You know, anybody can get involved in what we're doing. Obviously, only people who are unemployed or out of work can become members. But come along. We don't have anybody who's trained up in your area yet because we haven't got a group in your area yet. But as we get more members in different local areas, we are then going to be training people up.
Can I ask again where that is again?
Sorry?
You said where that
Haringey one.
Haringey is.
Yeah.
Where I am.
Where the venue is?
It's our Woodbury head office.
We're going it is.
Yeah, Green Lanes. And that's Thursday at 5:30.
5:30 it
I
is.
don't know if you know the Tottenham Chances Community and Arts Centre. They do a lot of work with homeless people and people with mental health issues. They're very keen to do this kind of activity there. So
yeah, well, I know that group is going to want to. One of the first things they're going to be doing is linking up with other local groups. So.
In the break, is it possible if I could get your details?
Yeah, they're on the back of this. On the back of this. And
on the back of that.
Left out. Yeah.
I think we should break now.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
What was those like?